how do you know when she had an orgasm so you know when to stop? Someone wrote in asking about that, and I love that the person wants to know more.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot of pressure, I think, in our society to know when the person had an orgasm or not.
Yeah. Our society is very orgasm-centric.
And you're supposed to do the orgasm and then you're done.
Yeah, because now we have completed the act of lovemaking.
Yes.
I'm Reid Mahalko from readaboutsex.com.
I'm Cathy Bartuli from theintimacydojo.com.
Answering that question opens up a whole bunch of other interesting conversations. Yeah. First is, if you get her or him to come, do they want you to stop? Because female-bodied people, for the most part, vulva owners out there, some people can have multiple orgasms. Mm-hmm. Maybe they don't want you to stop. Maybe they're like, keep doing that. For other people, like one orgasm and they're overstimulated, they need you to stop.
And different people have different cool down styles. So even with men, it doesn't matter, men or women, some may want you to keep going for another minute. Some may want you to immediately go to a softer touch. Mm-hmm. And so talking about it. And if you're not sure, because some people do have, they may be very excited and making noises like they're orgasming. Mm-hmm. And it's a little hard to tell if they've actually finished that, mm-hmm. even if there are somebody who wants to stop. Maybe getting some kind of signal or something. There's nothing wrong with not knowing.
Like a flag, like a race flag?
Yeah.
Just a...
Yeah. Well, I've had a person that really liked going down on me, and I loved it. But when there'd be a point after several orgasms, I was done. Mm-hmm. So I'd reach down and gently tap his shoulder. And that meant, okay, let's just ease off. But there was nothing wrong that he didn't know I was done. Mm-hmm.
So the bigger conversation here is our culture is very orgasm-centric, mm-hmm. and we're kind of trained that once everybody gets off, we are now complete. Like, we have a nice tidy little package of, we've had this experience, we can all go home now.
We had sex, we're done.
We had sex. I would invite you to reframe or consider the idea of sex as not being so much about orgasm, but being about pleasure. And what kind of pleasure and how can we continue the pleasure? Are we full? Is it kind of like a smorgasbord where we've had a bunch of these things and do we feel good? Mm-hmm. Is this enough pleasure for right now? Do we want to continue? What are you feeling? How am I feeling? That, and opening up that conversation before you guys get into bed is really useful to talk about, like, hey, like when I come, I like this to happen after I come. Mm-hmm. And ask other people, be like, hey, well, what about you?
Great conversations.
Do you want me to continue? Like, how do you like it? Like, if I was going to get you to come again, like, do you know anything? Any good tips or tricks you have for me? Like, what do you like? And make it okay to start talking about it. Yeah. And then, kind of go on a neat little reconnaissance mission with each other, doing detective work to figure out, like, what kinds of stuff do you like and how do you like it? That's going to be more useful and more important down the road, because you're role modeling it's okay for people to speak up about these things. Mm-hmm. So hopefully in the future they'll give you better information as well, so you're not always having to fly blind. Mm-hmm. And in these conversations you're creating connection. Might be awkward connection at first, yeah. But you're showing that you care about people's experiences. Mm-hmm. And I'd much rather sleep with that person over and over again than the person who's not talking about it, that I always have to read their mind or guess. Mm-hmm. So it may be awkward at first when you start having these conversations, but over time, most people seem to super appreciate it, and then you're not flying blind so much. Yeah. And by asking and having conversations about what each other likes and what works better, you automatically start to step out of what culture prescribed sex to be. Mm-hmm. And now there's more possibilities and more opportunity for fun.
Yeah. And if you're one of the people that, and I've been there, before I learned to tune how I was pleasing someone, I would be focusing on pleasing them and it's fine to tune to what they're enjoying, but I was so focused on their pleasure, I would kind of get worn out. I'm like, God, won't they come already so I can be done? And when I retuned into pleasing my hand and my mouth and my body with their body, I tuned to the sensation of that. I could still do what they wanted, but I tuned into the pleasure I was getting too. It makes it so you don't get tired very as fast. You're like enjoying it. And maybe you have to switch your positions. There's ergonomics around sex so that you can sustain motions longer.
You don't want, carpal tunnel
Yeah.
from all that repetition.
But there are ways to tune yourself so that you're enjoying the process, and so it's not this like, I hope she's done, I hope she's come because I'm so tired. And you can talk to your partner. Hey, listen, let's try a toy or a vibrator or a different position because I need to switch. My arm is tired, or there's ways to, or why don't you help me? I'd love to see how you please yourself. So communication's really important. And
Yes.
pleasing yourself on their body is really lovely too.
Yes. Awesome. Leave comments. Bye.